Holiday season is officially here and the scammers know it. I'm going to show you what to look out for this season. Hi, I'm Leslie, your friend in cyber, and welcome to my channel. Here I talk about all things cybersecurity and tech news to help you learn how to navigate the digital world. If you're looking for ways to stay safe in the digital world, hit like, subscribe, and tap the notifications bell. Let's get into it. So the holidays are officially here, and whether you celebrate or not, you have to know that this is prime scammer season. There are a bunch of scams that I want to let you know about, but I lumped them into 3 different categories. The categories are social scams, money scams, and sinister scams. So first up is social scams, and the first thing that you think about when you think of a social scam is phishing, right? But it's not limited to phishing. I'm pretty sure by now everyone has seen a phishing email. You know that it tends to have characteristics. It used to be back in the day, it was grammatical errors and typos, which still exist, but that's not always the indicator that it's phishing. Around the holiday season, the scammers expect people to be kind of off their A game because they're waiting for packages to come in, they're looking for deals, they have alerts coming in from different places to let them know that the things that they want to purchase are on sale or they're available if they were out of stock. They know this, and so they prey on that, and they take advantage of your emotion and your desire to hop on a deal as quickly as you can by putting out emails pretending to be that legitimate email you've been waiting for. So you've got to be really careful about that. So when you're getting an email, make sure you check your emotions before you act. A lot of times when you click on these links in these fake emails, it'll send you to a website that will look like the website you're trying to go to. However, it's a fake, and when you enter your login credentials, the hacker is actually obtaining your login credentials to your legitimate website, and that's how your account gets hacked. You want to keep a special eye out for emails promoting travel deals, discounts, this item is in stock, and package shipments as well. But taking it away from email, you want to keep an eye out on your text messages as well, because phishing has gone mobile. So you may start to see text messages from your bank saying that, oh, you have an overdraft, or that you have to authorize this obscene amount of money. And of course, these aren't legitimate emails and these aren't legitimate text messages. If you ever question whether you're getting a real email or a real text message from your bank, contact the bank, and don't contact the bank via the methods that are listed in that text message or that email. You want to call them on the phone using a verified phone number that you know is legitimate. So if there's a phone number on the back of your debit card or credit card, use that number. You know that number is real. You don't have to Google it, because sometimes if you Google a phone number, you may be redirected to something that's not legitimate, and you don't want to do that to yourself. You also want to be mindful of fake items listed on social media websites. And I know it's so easy to find things that are really interesting and cool and unique on social media platforms. But again, the scammers know that that is a source for people to go shopping. So fake items are often posted. So you want to be careful of that, especially now because they know that people are shopping. You should also know that legitimate websites do get compromised. It happens. And it does happen around the holiday season as well. So even if you are getting an email from a website that you typically go to all the time, pay attention to what it's saying. If it's saying that you placed the order and you know you didn't place the order, call the number that you know to be verified and trusted. If it's saying that you made a purchase and you don't remember making this purchase, check your bank to see if you actually have any withdrawals in that amount. Because again, these emails just want to play off of your emotions. It makes you act before you think. As I tell my teenage students, you want to look for a 3-piece combo. There's a lot more to a phishing email. However, there are 3 main parts that I think are really helpful in identifying whether an email or a text message is legitimate. So the first thing is it someone trying to establish some familiarity? This could be a person, this could be an organization, this could even be a business that you've used and you've frequented before. Are they trying to seem familiar? Are they trying to establish some sort of trust based on you knowing who they are? The second thing is, are they trying to evoke some sort of emotion, right? So is it telling you to act now? Is it giving that feeling that if you don't do something right now, there will be a consequence? And that consequence could be missing a sale. That consequence could be there's only one left of this item that you've been waiting for. And if you don't act now, you're going to miss out on it. And of course, it could also be the type of, I'm pulling on your heartstrings and we just need 2 more people to pledge this amount of money. And we'll get into those charity those charity scams in a bit as well. The third part of this is, what is the call to action? Is it asking you to do something? So not only is it a person that, they're trying to establish some sort of familiarity, but is it making you feel like you need to do something urgently? And then is there an actual call to action? So for these phishing emails and then the text messages as well, the call to action is to click on a link. The call to action is to enter this information. The call to action is to go to this website and enter your login credentials or to verify XYZ. That's the call to action that you need to be mindful of. If an email is asking you to do all 3 of these things, it could be a phishing email, so just be careful. Make sure you're verifying things before you click on things because, again, it's scammer season. The second category is money scams. And I call these money scams because it takes less of the social engineering aspect of it and goes straight for the coin. So we're talking about card scammers. We're talking about websites that ask for your credit card information that are fraudulent. Don't think for 1 second that card scamming only happens at the payment card system. So yes, there has been an increase in people reporting that there are card skimmers on the actual devices in the stores. So as I always try to tell you, make sure you are inserting your card instead of swiping, and also just be mindful of what you're doing. Don't be ashamed to jiggle that thing around. I mean, within reason. Don't go crazy on it, but don't be ashamed to really examine what you're swiping before you're actually swiping your card or you're inserting your card. I would definitely encourage you to examine these payment card systems if it's not like a big box store. So I'm not saying that big box stores don't fall victim of this. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is you're starting to see a lot of these things at local convenience stores. So gas stations, local convenience stores, small mom and pop stores, things like that. And again, this is not a shot at anybody. I know people are just trying to make it. And sometimes the scammers come in and put the devices on there without the owners knowing. And that's horrible too. But you really have to protect yourself, especially now because things are wild. There's digital card scamming too. And you want to make sure that you're not entering your credit card information on all of these websites. I know it's easy to do. I know it's easy to save your credit card information on a website that you use all the time. But the reality is when you do that, you're pretty much leaving it up to that particular organization to keep your stuff safe. And how many breaches have happened this year? A lot. So that's just one level of securing your accounts that you can do. That's really easy. Just don't enter your information there. If you must save your credit card information online for online purchases, because I get it, it's just way easier, I highly encourage you to use a virtual wallet. And that could be PayPal, that could be Apple Wallet, that could be Google Wallet. However, again, I'm not making a recommendation for any one of these. I'm just giving you the ideas, just giving you the category of, what a digital wallet can be. When you're using a reputable website, that payment card information is being processed through another third-party website like PayPal, like Stripe, like things like that. And again, I am not saying that these are perfect solutions. However, these companies are held to a much higher standard and are scrutinized a lot more than someone just collecting your payment card information that has a business in their basement and they're saving your credit card information on Google Drive. So that's just my stance. If you're going to save your payment card information for online purchases, it is way better for you to use a virtual wallet than to enter your information into individual websites. Next up in the money scams is fake charities. I know that sounds horrible. Who really wants to take advantage of someone being so kind and sweet and wanting to give to a charitable cause? Scammers do. According to Black Ball Institute, 36% of all charitable giving happens in the last 3 months of the year. And you don't think the scammers know that too? Of course they do. Around this time of year, you'll start to see fake websites pretending to be charitable causes. You'll start to see websites that ask you to support the troops that can't get home for their families and support American Red Cross because, there are people that need blood. You'll see all of these super heart-bleeding type charities pop up, and they're not all real. These are attempts at pulling at your heartstrings to get you to fund their criminal activity. You also want to be mindful of giving cash around this time of year too. So unless you know this is a true to like legitimate charity, don't give cash, because you really have no way of knowing where that money is going and if it's going to be used for the charitable purposes that you're giving it for. If for some reason you feel you may have fallen victim to one of these fake charities, keep an eye on your bank account. Make sure you stop any transactions that are upcoming. A lot of times these charities don't just want a one-time payment. They want a continuous commitment. So if you know that something is continuous, you can always call your bank and let them know. And even if you don't know if it's continuous, you can call the bank to let them know that anything coming from this particular charity needs to be stopped. Before you give to a charity, I highly suggest that you take a look at the IRS tax exempt search list. Check to see if that charity is on there. If it's a legitimate 501c3, if it's a legitimate site that is asking for charities and they're legally able to do it, they'll be on this list. I'll provide a link to that in the description below. And now to sinister scams. I call these sinister scams because granted, all the scams are pretty bad, but these just take a certain level of effort that really it's just bad. One thing that you're starting to see more is fraudulent seasonal jobs. Not just seasonal jobs, all jobs. The scammers know that these are tough times for people, and they know that people are trying to make some extra money to take care of themselves and families. You'll see these fake jobs pop up that don't really exist. However, they trick people into thinking that they do. They trick people into thinking that they've been hired on the spot or that they'll be starting soon. And it's part of the employee sign-on process. They ask you for your social security number, ask you for your banking information. And all of this sounds like, okay, well, that makes sense. I'm starting a new job. They need this information. But it's all about how they do it. You need to be really careful and make sure that the company that you're interviewing for is legitimate. You want to make sure that the information that you're providing is done through a secure means, not email, not text messages, not over the phone. If it is a legitimate company, they will be asking you for this information via a legitimate means. So whether that's a third-party website like Workday, some secure way that they're receiving your information, it will not be an email and it will not be a text message. And then there's free, open, public Wi-Fi. Around this time of year, you might try to get a little laxed because you want to check your bank account, you want to check your email, you want to make this purchase because you see it right now on this website and you want to buy something for someone without them knowing that you're buying it for them. Do not be tempted to use public Wi-Fi to take care of super private, super personal, sensitive business. You do not want to enter your passwords. You do not want to enter your credit card information. You don't want to do really anything over public Wi-Fi. But if you must, be sure to use a VPN. That way you can make sure that the information that you're sharing over the internet is protected and can't be sniffed by someone sitting on the network trying to get your information. And if you're thinking that, oh yeah, people really don't do that, yeah, they do. These last two are pretty basic, but they're crappy nonetheless. Shoulder surfing. Be mindful of your surroundings when you are checking your bank account in public. People are looking over your shoulders to check what your passwords are. Your information can be picked up on cameras. These are things to consider. Again, you may think that people aren't doing this because who's really doing this nowadays? It's 2022. Well, it's the easiest way to get information without you knowing. I'm just gonna look over your shoulder. It's that simple. It's not high tech. It's not virtual. It's literally a person standing next to you watching what you're doing while you're too distracted to notice. And of course, everyone's seasonal favorite, porch pirates. This is not something that's specific to the holidays, but around the holiday season, you see it more and more. Of course, people have their home security cameras to check to see if someone is actually trying to steal their package, but the reality is your package was still stolen. Knowing who did it, sure, that might lead to someone getting arrested, but in the end, you're still not getting your stuff back. That's terrible. These scammers are getting really bold. So not only will they steal your credentials to get into your account, use your credit card to purchase something that you didn't authorize, but they'll have the item shipped to your house. Then, because they have the tracking information, they'll follow the delivery person to your house to pick up the package that you didn't know you ordered because you didn't, and they'll porch pirate you. These are really involved scams, but now that you know about them, you won't be a victim of them. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you stay safe this holiday season. See you in the cyber streets.